first in Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association play. First serve, and we are on and going. Scrambling is Queens on the run, but no dice. Give the first point to the Buckeyes.
Definitely a quick play there. Quick action right to the libero. Nice play to get it over and try and make something out of it.
So first serve for Ohio State, that'll be Kyle Tooney. Tooney with 6 aces on the season. He hails from Downers Grove, Illinois, Timothy Christian High School. Perfect pass by Queens. Easily handled by Ohio State. Outlet from Pasteur. No problem. Free ball for Queens on the run. They'll go with the D ball. No problem for Ohio State. There's the back row. Bick. Setting is Michael Wright. Longest rally so far we might see of this ball game here on the second point of the game. Fantastic finish on the outside by Queens.
It's a great swing and way to stay committed in that rally for that point.
Queens loving this as we get the adjustment on the cut shot. That set a little bit inside. Good adjustment on the outside on the attack by Queens to get the job done.
That was a nice sharp swing by Pilch as well.
Not an easy play. Pilch has not seen action in nearly a month, so to come back with that hard cutter for his first point, excellent work by Pilch.
Definitely a good way to start the match for Pilch, help him build some confidence, and hope to see he can get some more of those.
Cole Young back on the service line, middle blocker will go back and serve on the float. Easily passed by Sims. Scratch that. That was Warzoka on the pass. Scratch that and give the ball back to Queens. So now 3 attackers. Daniel Leitao back on serve, the setter. He was attacking from the opposite position last year, taking over the setting duties this season in their first year of MIVA play.
You know, back in the day when I was playing, Daniel was my setter as well. So it was good to see him adjust to a new role last year in the opposite position.
No surprises then, having had to dust off those setter hands after setting in your final year, Nick, and now coming back to set as a graduate student for the Royals. Serve from Leitao. Handled easily by Ohio State in system on the tool. No problem for Justin Howard.
It's a tough read there with a good pass. Got to commit to the middle, but you know, with dynamic pins like Ohio State has, your pins got to be ready to move in both directions on that block.
It's a tough ask to block all 30 feet on a perfect pass like that. Sure enough, they did get the kill on that middle quick. Service error, no problem. Ohio State is going to serve aggressive. That was a conversation that I had with Coach Kevin Birch when they were struggling earlier in the season. They got away from that aggressive serving, but they finally figured out they got to serve and be themselves out on the floor, and that will actually help with avoiding some of those service errors.
Yeah, over the last, I'd say 10 years or so, the emphasis on serving aggressive in men's volleyball specifically has really grown as you know, the need to avoid teams siding out on the first contact has really just emphasized and led to more wins.
Easy serve from Pasteur. There's the right side. No problem for Brinkman attacking over on the right. He had to drop his thumb and rip that down the line. Excellent swing by Brinkman.
Great swing. Libero shifted deep a little bit there. Brink was able to put it right in front of him. It's a good swing outside the block with a strong 4 hands in front of him.
First ball kills so important in this ball game, especially in the men's game. They got one there.
Good block by the Royals. Way to stay patient and get up on time for that block, get 4 hands.
Brinkman drops his arms in just a little bit to take care of that seam. Excellent work by him to help out along with Schaffer Grant on the block. Pass by Pasteur. This time the attack makes it through. Tooney with the attack tooling the block.
That was a really fast tempo out of Ohio State there. Led to some miscues on the block. Queens wasn't able to get their hands fully over the net. That's why that ball was able to, you know, got snuck right inside of Brink.
So that brings up Justin Howard serving. He's got 5 aces on the season. Comes all the way from California to play for the Buckeyes. That attack out of bounds, just clipping the antenna.
Jack tried to recreate that last swing where he was able to put it in front of the libero, but just a little, not enough space past the block by Ohio State there. So unforced error.
Difficult swing by Brinkman there results in the serve for Ohio State. On the run is Leitao. Roll shot gets the job done, and a net touch will negate the kill, but give that credit to the attack on the roll shot to get it done. Great rundown by Leitao to get that set located.
Definitely. It's going to be a battle of who can control that second contact. Obviously, it'll start with the first contact out of serve receive, but the more these teams can be in system, the tighter this match will get.
Quality handles at the net. Love that work from Michael Wright as the setter. He had to put one hand up and prevent the ball from getting to the plane before the Queens attackers could get the overpass. Excellent ball by Ohio State. Michael Wright, number 8, the senior setter from Richmond, Virginia, playing for the Bucks.
Good out-of-system swing by Brink.
Very mature swing by Brinkman there in the out-of-system play.
Definitely. It's a lot of fun to watch Jack play now. You know, he came in as a sophomore while I was still playing. Definitely kind of a young gun, like to let loose with the arm, but that's a big-time swing on an out-of-system play.
Super smart swing to get that ball to go. So give it back to Ohio State. As you said before, risk-reward on those serves. Neither team holding back on their serves so far in this ball game. A couple misses by both squads still early on in this game.
Yeah, and they'll live with that. If they can hold teams out of system, it's going to be more important than just giving them a nice, easy serve. Because then stuff like that happens.
When you could free up your middle, Chopper Grant with the monster swing, just simply overpowering the libero, Thomas Poole. There's nothing really Thomas Poole could do on that one. He was left wide open. So he's going to shake his schnoz a little bit there after getting tooled on the face for that point.
You know, just kind of the role of the libero. Sometimes you got to put the helmet on, stand in the zone, and be ready to get hit.
That's right. And the rule of the libero or any defender, hey, whatever it's going to hit you with, make it flat, and good things sometimes happen. This time, not so much for Poole. Young with a float serve. Combination play is snuffed out by Ohio State. Here comes Pasteur. Pasteur will go offside, off tempo. He gets the roll to go.
It's a really smart play there. When the ball's tight on the net on a bang-bang play like that, it's really easy for the defense to expect him to go for a big swing trying to power it in a seam. So taking the off-speed route there is definitely a good move. It's a fantastic up.
Eventually the swing out of bounds, so justice is served there. I think the entire Queens squad was awaiting to potentially challenge that it was in fact 4 hits. That ball never did make it over, but instead Pasteur hits it out of bounds, so no review necessary, tied up at 10.
Definitely, you know, and this is a good position for both teams right now, waiting to see if someone can go on a little bit of a service run and pull away with a little bit of a lead.
And the pipe from Tooney, no problem there. And that run properly on tempo, and with the decoy of Pasteur, that frees up Tooney to only have to go against really one block.
Yeah, the BIC is personally my favorite set in volleyball. It's so much fun flying out of the back row. You watch the blockers kind of part ways, and you just get to swing right through.
The luxury of a vertical that I never had, Nick. Glad you have fond memories of the BIC.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Leitao chasing that one, and then Brinkman had to try and go get it. No dice. Credit the ace to Michael Wright. Michael Wright, 8th in MIVA play. He tallies nearly a half an ace per set. So about every other set he's tallying at least one ace.
Well, this looks to be like the start of that service run I was mentioning when it was tied up at 10-10. This is kind of that crucial middle portion of the game where if someone's able to pull away, it gets a little challenging to fight back.
I think we might see that timeout from Coach Jeremy Price. No stranger to Ohio State, even though the Queens squad has never played them before. We'll get into that a little bit later. Well, that streak, that service run stopped on the service error, so Queens takes a breath of fresh air.
Definitely. 2-point deficit, not bad. If Pilch is able to get a little run here, Royals might be able to fight back.
Pasteur on the right, no problem. They're in service reception, so he was on the right side, stuck in that pattern. Over there, that's when Queens needs to take advantage with Pasteur not in his natural position, though no problem. Good pass, quality swing by Pasteur.
Yeah, Sterling, Queens' middle, really needs to identify that Pasteur is out on the right to avoid leaving him one-on-one, because if he's swinging one-on-one all night, it's going to be a long night for the Royals.
Good dig by Pasteur. Outlet from Poole. Swinging from the right side, no problem. Hurley, that ball is blocked. Give the ball back to Ohio State. Now Queens in position. Give it back to Brinkman. In system again. They'll kick it back to Oaxaca. Oaxaca with a tool, get it done.
That's a great swing in that position. Logan didn't make the greatest set in the world, but Albert was really able to make a swing high off the outside hands. That's always a high percentage shot.
He had to step outside to take that swing. As you can see, a very, very smart move by him. A junior transfer from Limestone University that canceled their program, unfortunately, just a year ago.
Yeah, you know, they were...
And we're going to take the media timeout. Queens keeping it close. Ohio State. He's done a fine job so far in this ball game. The number 7 team in the country has come in, but Queens is close for a reason. This is not a fluke. Well-played game by both squads so far today.
Definitely. And
how about the no look from Oaxaca? So Oaxaca there, showing line, rips it into the seam for the finish.
Yeah, very creative swing there to kind of look off the defenders, knowing that there was a seam in the block that he was able to swing through.
Back on serve is Brinkman. Handled by Pasteur. Over on the right. Quality dig by Queens, keeping it going. Brinkman is stopped. How about the stuff from Cole Young? Cole Young, 0.7 blocks per set. No surprise on that one.
Yeah, really tough ask of Brink there to get up and make that swing. I think Coach Price just told Daniel as well he probably would have preferred if he gave that ball out to Albert on the outside.
Yeah, high outside ball there. At least gives some swing options rather than the easy double block. Here comes Leitao. This time he is stuffed, so again that block is causing problems. Queens swinging freely early, but now the block is starting to settle in for Ohio State.
Definitely. When you're playing teams like this, you know, as you get pushed further and further out of system and Daniel's taking that ball further outside the 10-foot line, it gives Ohio State much more time to set up a well-formed block, which just makes it that much harder on the Queens attackers.
Daniel Hurley on serve. Tricky play over by Leitao. That is handled. Free ball situation for Queens.
And they got a side out here.
Oh, no problem on the dig by Poole. D-ball from Daniel Hurley is handled. Another block by Ohio State. This time the triple. Everybody getting in on that high set to get the stuff.
And Ohio State does a phenomenal job here being patient, waiting, and getting 6 hands up. Triple blocks are always hard to hit over, and when you're trying to hit around them.
Excellent work by Ohio State. After Thomas Poole got tagged a little bit earlier, he has really recovered with a couple of key digs. One that was a stabbing dig to keep the rally alive, eventually getting the momentum and the point for Ohio State. We'll have to see what is dialed up by Coach Jeremy Price, and for Coach Birch and company, more of the same. An aggressive serve from Daniel Hurley is coming.
And something that might go unnoticed to some new viewers, he's also been putting up some phenomenal out-of-system sets, really setting up the Ohio State attackers well when the setter's taken the first contact, and he's had to make that set. He's been giving them all the options on the pins in those secondary contacts.
And I do think that's the edge there, as you pointed out. Only a slim margin. 6 is pretty slim if you consider a couple of aces and a couple of attack errors. The result now, momentum on Ohio State's side. So a missed serve aggressively for Ohio State, though. 5-point advantage. Queens is going to have to work to chip away at this one. On serve is Oaxaca. Line shot is handled, no problem by Brinkman, but that ball does not go over. Love that dig from Brinkman, but he didn't have enough time to really transition and take a swing.
Yeah, and that's one of those swings where you got to know you're not going to score 5 points on one swing. We just got to put them in a bad position and then move on to the next play. Now Ohio State's got a 6-point lead, first to 20. It's always tough once you get to 20 points.
Tooney on serve. Leitao tosses it into the corner. Ohio State handles it.
And that's a great middle run by Ohio State there. Middles in transition are always very effective. You get the block to spread out on the other side. If you're able to force that middle in transition and establish the middle early, it leaves your pins with a lot of one-on-one opportunities in the future, which obviously just leads to more kills.
And the middle blocker, Cole Young, on that one, he's hitting at a 473 average. That leads the league, so no surprise when they go to him. Good things happen. They do use him quite smartly. He's only third on the team in kills, but it's that attack efficiency that matters so much. Like you said, establish the middle. That frees up the pins to take even better swings.
It's tough for middles to get a significant level of volume. You'll always see the pin hitters having a little bit, a little bit higher of attack attempts. But the middle attempts are so crucial, and you'll see them attack at a much higher percentage overall, because in the event of good passes, if you can run that middle, you're often likely to get a one-on-one opportunity.
Good situation for Queens. Going no look. Pilch hits it just out. He had the right idea on that back line. Sails it just 6 inches long.
And that's a great shot in that position with 4 hands in your face. A nice little bit off-speed roll to the 1-6 seam of the zones of the volleyball court, that is. It's really tough. There's no defender there. And it's an automatic, the outside is digging that ball from behind the setter, so that dig needs to be even better and higher for the setter to locate and deliver a good second contact.
Do love that choice. Execution just missed from Pilch, but excellent work by him decision-making wise. 2 points away is Ohio State trying to put a run together here is Leitao on serve. Outlet to Pasteur, handled by libero Peters. Looking for the touch. Queens is not going to get it. That's going to provide set point for Ohio State.
And you can see how the service pressure has really started to take control of this game for Ohio State. As Queens has gotten further and further out of system, less likely to get kills, they're really struggling to gain any sort of momentum. And that's the game of volleyball, is how often are you able to side out and continue to build that momentum throughout the set.
That ball's going to sail out of bounds, and sometimes that's Queens wanting that ball to be a touch, but Coach Price isn't going to use one of his challenges unless he believes that that call could have been made.
Exactly, and it's a good way to break up the game for Queens. It's effectively like using a timeout without using a timeout. You have an opportunity to maybe flip a point.
And it's going to be the overpass from Queens, resulting in the finish from Ohio State. Ohio State close early is Queens, but Ohio State pulls away. Set 1 to Queens. Scratch that. Set 1 to Ohio State.
If they come out hot in this set, Queens is going to be in trouble. This is a big start of this second set to maintain control of the rest of the match. If Queens is able to fight with Ohio State, stay in this game the way they did early on in the first set, we're going to have a match on our hands here. But if Ohio State continues on this hot streak that they ended off in that first set, it's going to be a long night for the Royals.
And service reception for the Royals, they will sit in wait. So in the middle, it'll be Pilch in service reception pattern along with Oaxaca. And then the libero over on the right in Logan McDonald, junior from Ghana. Ohio, he'd love to get a little bit of revenge by not being recruited for Ohio State and to try to get that win. How about a good start for Queens on the off-speed?
And it's a great off-speed to start the set. Nerves are high when you're starting the set. You're ready to go. You've been waiting through that, break of play. People are expecting a big swing. Hit them with a little tip, and it works out well.
Well passed by Poole. There's the Bick you were talking about earlier, handled by Queens. There's the D-ball. Off-speed from Leitao on that swing. Scratch that D-ball, instead just going off-speed just to survive that point. And you could tell, roll shot resulted in a free ball for Ohio State. They get it done.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Ohio State's back line was ready to move forward and play that ball. They were able to get a good ball out to Jacob to get the kill.
Cole Young on serve. Running float serve has been his style on the ball game today. Grant is blocked. Surviving is Pasteur. Turn and gun, no problem for Michael Wright. So the center turns and rips it, splitting the right back and right front seam on the sideline.
Setters are always going to relish any opportunity they can to attack the ball.
Good swing by Wright, only his 23rd kill of the season, so he doesn't get many chances like that. Oaxaca makes the save. In system though is Ohio State. There's the combo play on the run. Pilch gets it. Queens survives. Free ball and the finish into the corner. Just long. Queens loving this. A couple of survival digs. Only good things happen when you keep that rally alive.
Yeah, and big plays like this are able to change the momentum early on in this set. So I'm glad, it's good that Queens was able to fight back there. We'll see if Ohio State can get a side out.
Grant serves Pasteur. How about the right side attack from Daniel Hurley? Yikes, quality swing by him.
It's a big swing. You can see how Brink kind of moved in, probably trying to fill a hole that he saw on the block. Ohio State was just able to keep that ball out wide, go for the kill.
Good discipline by Hurley to swing wide when he had open floor if he wanted it. There's Leitao on the run. Good work by him. Pilch with the swing. Give it to Ohio State. There's the big. Saved by McDonald. Brinkman on the swing in the right back. Here comes Pasteur. Tight set. He still handles it. Oh, missed opportunity by Queens. Sims and Leitao couldn't quite get closed on Pasteur.
Yeah, it's a tough. With an out-of-system swing like this, we really got to prioritize getting a nice closed block up. Would have liked to see Pilch try and triple block that in that scenario as well.
Pasteur with a set on one.
Little creative play,
attack.
Good vision by Pilch.
Leitao gets a look at the defense. It'll be a touch in the back court. Tooney with the touch, so Queens picking up momentum just as they did in the beginning of the first set.
Yeah, and a good deep swing by Sterling there. If Daniel's able to establish the middles for Queens, Queens is going to look to have much better opportunities on their pins as well, who definitely for this season so far have gotten the majority of their kills.
Sterling Sims now in the front row for Queens in the middle. Here's Pasteur on the right. He goes for Toole, no dice. Here comes Queens. There's the swing from Sims, this time out of bounds. I still like that choice to go high hands. He just went a little wide.
Yeah, and I like that swing as well, just a little bit of a miss hit there. But again, Daniel's trying to establish the middle here. Fight back. Ohio State's done a great job of establishing the middle of the court, whether it's the back row Bick or the front middle.
Sims with the kill and Grant with one kill on the ball game. Of course, getting them a little bit more on the roll. So important for Queens to try to tilt the scales here and snatch set number 2.
Definitely. We'll see if Pilch can get a little bit of a service run here going. Reapply the service pressure that Ohio State did so well in that first set.
Pasteur gets the lucky break. He was swinging hard out of the pipe. The ball clips the tape, but of course, then all bets are off from the defensive side of the ball. That ball trickles off the net and down for the point.
Yeah, and you can see how quick of a tempo they're running for Pasteur out of the back row. He's really able to fly towards the net, but if that set's just a little bit off, it makes it on a tough swing.
Leitao over to the right. Good coverage by Leitao to survive. Here comes the tempo on the right side, left side. Saved by McDonald. Here comes Ohio State. There's that middle attack. No problem. In these long rallies is where Ohio State has really shined for the most part.
Yeah, Queens needs to get a little bit more complete of touches in these rallies. The first contact on the Queens side is definitely not as precise as you'd want it to be in these rallies, and Ohio State's really able to take advantage of that.
There's Howard on serve. Oaxaca on the swing. He's blocked. He'll take another cut, this time off speed, handled by Pasteur. Pasteur on the bick. He is stopped solo by Sims. He was going to get a little bit of help from Brinkman, but it was mostly Sims on that stop.
Yeah, and that's a great read by Sterling there. It's really tough when the middles are so well established to wait and stay ready to block the back row quick. But you know with Ohio State's #1 option in the back row, you have to be ready for that attack.
That speaks to his discipline. 6'3" senior from Goodyear, Arizona, and it's the mindset of Sims to keep that discipline. I don't think freshman Sims makes that block.
No, and I can tell you with certainty that freshman Sterling does not make that block. I loved playing with him. You know, my last year was when Ster was a freshman, but it's been fantastic to see him mature and grow up, you know, at Queens.
Served by Hurley. Tough one. Here comes Leitao.
That's a big swing from Brinkman against a triple block there. Great idea to find the outside hands of the outside blocker in that scenario. It's always a smart swing when you have 6 hands in your face.
Good choice by him to go all out. That's what he normally does on his swing. So there he's kind of in his own wheelhouse, taking that monster swing.
Yeah, I think Brinkman especially is best when he's swinging away confidently. That's his game, and he does it really well.
Quality ball over there on the right. That's Daniel Hurley getting it done. That was the D ball, kind of opening up the offense. So with Pasteur in the front row, the back row attack is strong from Daniel Hurley running that D to perfection on that swing.
Yeah, and you know, spreading out the block on the other side is a key aspect of men's volleyball, making sure you can keep as little hands in front of you at all times.
Well, Hawka off the head of the block of Ohio State. Pasteur on transition, handled by McDonald. Opportunity for Queens. Roll shot from Warhawka. High outside from Pasteur. Nice
That
dig.
is a sharp cut, tight ball by Brink.
Leitao is going to go back to his D. Can't quite find Brinkman. Here comes Ohio State. Roll shot from Pasteur. Turn and gun is Leitao. That's going to be a net by Ohio State to negate the rally. Excellent defense by Queens. Eventually, a mistake from Ohio State, give the point to Queens. Tied it up at 8.
Yeah, if you can make the other team play, you're going to find yourself winning these rallies more and more. The more you force your opponent to have to side out, the easier it's going to be for you moving forward.
Pilch now in the front row on the outside as Warhawka goes back to serve. Cole Young on the combination play gets the job done.
Yeah, and you can see from our angle how similar that set looks to the back row quick in this scenario, and that's what makes it so tough for the opponent to block.
Yep, the timing there is really on display by Ohio State, but that speaks to the maturity of Michael Wright handling the setting duties for Ohio State. Hands handled by Ohio State. There's the middle quick. That ball sailed just out of bounds by Justin Howard, so there's an unforced error for you that you were mentioning a little bit earlier.
There we go, and you know, just like the first set, we're tight here, you know, going up to the 10-point mark. So we'll see if someone's able to pull away with a nice service run.
And Grant can do it with that running float serve, causing problems for Pasteur. Sure enough, there's the service ace by Grant on that running float, putting pressure on Pasteur to move to his left to try to get a pass back toward the setter.
It's really tough for an outside passing out of out of zone 5 to bring that ball back towards the court, especially on a low float like that.
This time, perfect pass from Pasteur. Blocked and handled. Here's Pasteur again, this time into the block of Sims. Sims wasn't quite close to the net. He was there in time, but he was pulled off the net. That ball trickles in front of him. Give the point to Pasteur and the Bucks.
Yeah, and that transition play, it's really important for the middle to get back, find their spacing with the net so they don't have to think about where they are in relation and able to get their hands over the net. In that instance, I think Sturgis wasn't able to get back in time.
So now 3 attackers for Ohio State. On the serve of Michael Wright, he bombs that one just out of bounds. But again, the aggressive serving Ohio State, they don't mind a missed serve here or there. Coach Kevin Birch earlier told us a little bit about their mindset for serving. They have to serve aggressive, and if they miss a couple, there's no need to change your style. Just go back to what you do. You'll be able to get back to it. As soon as you start serving conservatively, you actually miss a few more.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. When you're going for it, you go back to the line with confidence, definitely leads to more points.
And there's Pasteur again. He was stuck over on the right side. I shouldn't say stuck. He's had reasonable success in his right side rotation in service reception, so no problem for Pasteur. He already has notched his 10th kill of the ball game. We're only 11 points in to the second set.
Yeah, it's always fun being the 0-1 in that position where, as Pastor is, where you get to move over to the opposite side for one rotation out of serve receive. You see a different set of blockers in front of you. It's kind of a little bit different of an approach style as well. But when you're a dynamic attacker like that, it usually leads to just as much success.
Having no problem on the right side is Pastor. He just dialed up an ace a moment ago. That his first ace of the ball game. How about 2 in a row? Dialing up a monster against Logan McDonald. I would call this a back row attack from 30 feet the way he is swinging.
He is definitely ripping this ball right into a seam. It's dying really quickly as it gets over the net. This is definitely a very difficult serve.
And a critical point for Queens. They were tied at 10 in set 1. Airing it out there. He goes wide, but opening up a quality lead. 2 service aces in a row to open up that Ohio State lead. Now they'll have to do it on serve receive to try to stay ahead of the Royals. That'll be the serve of number 22, Matthew Pilch.
And a tough toss there, which led to a missed serve. You can see Pilch kind of tossed it over the right side of his body, had to adjust moving outward, wasn't able to follow that straight line of an approach into the court with his serve.
Toss so important on that running jump. And there's the finish. How about that stuff block? Getting in on it, Cole Young with the finish. We're going to take the media timeout. Ohio State.
I think if they can maintain some good passes in system inside the 10-foot line, the match will look more like how it has been for the leading portion of the sets.
In system is Queens. There's that right side attack. Ohio State was really trapping Brinkman on that one. They already were leaning left to prepare for the Brinkman swing. Sure enough, they get the stuff on.
You know, it's the same way Queens has to treat Pastor and a little bit differently. Every team you play against, you have the primary attacker that you're always going to be aware of their position on the court.
Trying off speed. There's coverage. Queens will play again. There, another off speed. That one goes to the floor. Reaching on the dive, but just out of range. Michael Wright can't get to it. Good answer by Queens. They switch the dial up. They go with a little off speed to finally break that service run.
And sometimes that's what you need to break up a run, is try something different. If you've been swinging all out and it hasn't been working, sometimes you got to switch it up just to score a point and get out of the rally.
Sims with the missed serve there. He's dialed up 10 aces on the season, so he certainly has a license to go ahead and open it up, but they're the miss. They're gonna have to do it on service reception. Still in this one, but this lead starting to lengthen for Ohio State. Good serve by Hurley, handled by Pilch. More on the off speed, this time Warhawka. Warhawka will get his second one. This time he swings hard. He's gonna get the tool and the finish.
And that's a great swing against a triple block. Again, high hands. That's always the place you want to go. Outside corners of the block. High hands obviously included in that as well. So you can get a little bit better of a touch. You're either recycling it back on your side for what effectively becomes a free ball, or hoping you've hit that ball off their hands out of bounds.
Only good things happen. There it did on that block out of bounds. This time the swing from Tooney. Queens probably not too happy about that one. I think that the ball may have been held for just a fraction, but in today's ball game, I think we're seeing more and more of that allowed.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough play there. The block just doesn't get all the way outside. The ball floats past them. He's able to just drop it right outside their hands.
So Tooney will go back to serve. He airs it out down the line. Oaxaca thought it was going out, so he did not lunge for it. Again, that ball to the left of an outside hitter. That's going to prompt the timeout. Ohio State up by 5, continuing to gain some momentum. Again, close early was Queens here in set 1, tied at 9, but then slowly opening things up.
Pressure, we'll see if Queens is able to fight back a little bit and bring this lead down.
Tooney back on serve. Again, airing it out. No problem by Pilch. Scrambling is Poole. Nice save by Poole. Pasteur on the outlet ball. Handled by McDonald. Going for the over and 2 is Leitao. Leitao not too happy about it. I think he judged that that ball was a little bit higher than it actually was.
And a little bit tighter in that scenario. I think there he probably wishes he would have reversed flow, pushed the ball overhead to the D ball for Brink to swing. Most likely would have felt the middle moving to his right, causing him to go overhead, reverse flow, get Brink a one-on-one opportunity even out of the back row.
So the big service run from Tooney causing problems for Pilch. Call it a service ace for Tooney. Quality 4-point run off of the Tooney serve. That's going to prompt another timeout from Coach Jeremy Price. He's at 199 wins. He's trying to get his again, 10 kills, leading all attackers on this ball game. He has more than twice as many kills as the next player on his team there for Ohio State. Tooney on serve. Scrambling is Leitao. Free ball opportunity for Ohio State. There's the big on the tip. Rhythm wasn't there. Here comes Queens. There's Brinkman on the swing. Free ball opportunity for Queens. There's the middle quick. Grant with the tip. Pulling out the left hand is Pasteur. Pasteur not in the best position, so he rips out the left hand, is able to get the tool.
And you can tell as he went underneath the block for that dig, he called for a quick there, knowing his job was just to get as far away from the setter as possible, as quickly as possible, so he was able to catch the block off guard, go for a nice kill.
Good chemistry ball there for the setter just to find Pasteur in transition there on that quick ball. And the block for Ohio State. So Cole Young continuing to get into the action on the block. Young already with 5 blocks on the ball game to go along with Tooney's 5. 2 points away again is Ohio State after a good start here in set 2 for Queens.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Royals are able to build a little bit of momentum here going into the third set. Let's see if Albert can get a little bit of a service run and potentially draw themselves back into this game.
Everything's about momentum here. They may not be able to get them all back in this set, but getting a little bit of run and energy here is so important for them.
And that's a good place to start. Service pressure from the jump. Ohio State was out of system. Pasteur had to go up. Forehands, nice, well-formed block by the Royals, and they were able to get that point.
Leitao and Grant getting in on that one, and you could see a perfect shot of that stuff against the All-American Pasteur.
And it's tough to give that point right back to them in that scenario. You know, Ohio State's got set point here. We'll see if Queens can, again, build some momentum going into the third.
Starts with a pass. They'll do it against Cole Young. With that tricky running float serve, no problem is Queens. Pilch with the off speed. Free ball opportunity for Queens. This time the middle quick. Grant is dug.
A little middle defense from Ohio State.
Eventually that ball sailed out of bounds on the big. Coach Birch pleased with that play call. I do like that choice on the play call, but as you mentioned, any points that Queens can get here, so important to gain momentum moving into set 3.
Definitely, and if Ohio State goes on to win this second set, Queens' back is definitely going to be up against the wall for this third set. So if they're able to build some momentum here, I think the teams they figured each other out now. We know what to expect out of both sides. So Queens will know what they need to change.
Serving sub, Jackson Maples seeing action for the first time in this ball game. That won't work. Good serve by Maples, but again, the finish from you-know-who. Jacob Pasteur for his 12th kill. Call it a 2-0 advantage for Ohio State. So Ohio State and Queens tied at 9 early. Ohio State again steps on the gas midway. Ohio State up 2-0.
Set a little bit, try and fight out for a set win.
And we highlighted this earlier. While Queens and Ohio State have never matched up against each other. In fact, Coach Jeremy Price, he has 3 victories personally against Ohio State. When he coached Juniata, he got a victory over Ohio State in 2009. And when he coached at Grand Canyon, notched a couple of victories over Ohio State in 2013 and 15. And as Coach Price boasted pregame, he said, I have a 1-game win streak over Ohio State. Well, that win was in 2015, but hey, you play who's on your schedule.
Well, I love playing for Price, but it's going to take a little bit of an effort from Queens to fight back and potentially keep that win streak alive for Jeremy.
It really is, and the challenge, we've talked about the challenges. It's been the serve of Ohio State, also Ohio State's block has been very, very solid. 5 blocks each for Young and Tooney through set 2.
And a nice off-speed ace there by Ohio State. Again, you know, you see early on, early in the set, tensions are running high, you're ready for the big play. You get hit with an off-speed shot, and you're not always ready to play that ball short.
You talked about your favorite swing in volleyball. It's the Bic. My favorite serve is the off-speed topspin in the men's game after you've established that hard power ball. So for Tooney to go with that off-speed, he definitely highlighted that one.
Yeah, and that's that is a lot of fun as well. You watch the defense back up a little bit, and this is a good, tough communication by the Royals at first, but Brinkman able to get a nice swing there.
And Brinkman available, that really speaks to his seniority. He is a grad student from Powell, Ohio. Just being available on a swing like that is so important.
Yeah, and having played with Brinkman in the past, I know he's always ready to attack. He's always looking to get ready for that ball. When he's up and able to attack, that's where he wants the ball going.
Serve from Cole Young. In system is Queens. That set a little bit low. It's going to result in a free ball back for the Royals. This time swinging is Pilch. He goes high off the hands and eventually for the finish. Switching the block, being caught on the wrong side was Justin Howard. So that block on the inside was Michael Wright. Yeah,
and you can see how Queens struggled with that first contact. And Ohio State was able to read and get 4 hands out there because Pilch was really the only option they were able to set in that scenario, even on a free ball.
And that's the answer, the in-system ball. Gap set to Justin Howard with a perfect pass. That is going to be nearly impossible to block with that tempo.
And again, Ohio State using that same formula they were using in the first 2 sets. Coming out hot with serve receive, establishing the middles early, and it's going to lead to more kills for their outsides later on.
Good decoy causing problems for Ohio State. Turn and gun is Leitao. I like that choice by Leitao, the setter. Instead of setting it, he recognizes the block's not there. Of course, he's loving it, taking a swing over there on the right side.
It's always tricky. You're kind of in that scenario. Ohio State setter was hoping that Daniel wouldn't make that play and take the ball in a free ball scenario, taking the setter out from setting the ball in the second contact.
Swing by Hurley is blocked and handled. Here comes Queens. How about the off-speed? Oaxaca with his 8th kill of the ball game. Off-speed has really been the key for Queens. 2 kills on the off-speed here in set 3.
Yeah, Albert's doing a really good job over there on the outside, identifying when Ohio State is maybe a little bit too deep in their wing defense, throwing the ball right over the net with a soft touch, or right over the block with a soft touch, going for a kill.
And truly keeping the Ohio State defense honest. Mixing a tip like that, they do have to step in a fraction. Well, of course, that leaves the big, deep swing a little bit more available when you have command over that tip as well.
Yes, definitely.
Serve from Pasteur. Big bomb from Pasteur, handled by Pilch.
And this will be big if Queens is able to side out and get Pasteur away from the service line.
A wonderful opportunity. It was a great serve by Pasteur, but Pilch handled it with no problem. Perfect pass by Pilch results in the offense from Queens.
And those are definitely the opportunities that Queens is going to need to take advantage of if they want to steal this 3rd set. Ohio State's best server behind the line. How few serves can you let him get?
Here's Grant with the floater. No problem is Ohio State. And of course, who do you target? You target your middle blocker. Middle blockers take pride in the defense that they do play in the back row, but there's a reason usually why they come out, and there Grant fooled with that off speed.
Exactly. And you know Ohio State identified before the serve that there was a middle in the back row. They know in that scenario if that's a libero, the libero's probably going to get that off-speed shot outside the block. But knowing it's a middle who's not as confident defensively, you're going to make that swing.
And Brinkman is dug, so what's the answer? Ohio State responds by swinging at him. Brinkman a little frustrated on that one. He wasn't frustrated that he didn't get the dig. It was the kill that he didn't feel like he terminated with that opportunity.
Yeah, it's tough when you're in that scenario. You have to move on to the next ball. You can't dwell on a swing that you didn't take fully or should have made a different decision on because the other team's coming right back at you.
A couple of mistakes in a row result in the Ohio State advantage. This is where Queens really does not want it to get out of hand. We're going to get a review. That's a review that there's going to be a touch, so ball does not go Queens' way. This is basically like a baked-in timeout, and sure enough, a quick review results in the point staying with Ohio State.
And Queens was able to regroup there a little bit, as you saw on the court, use that challenge, a little bit of a timeout. But, you know, you're using it smartly, effectively, looking to try and earn a point back for your side.
So consultation between the official and the up official is really talking to Leitao. We'll have to see what they're actually talking about, but as the court captain, Leitao, after a conversation, is allowed to go back and talk to his coach. There's some gamesmanship there. Leitao trying to slow things down as much as he can and extend that break.
Definitely. And it worked to Queens' favor. They were able to get Sterling involved there in the middle. Definitely a little bit of some comments after the play there, but it's all fun and games. And when you play in at home, you probably know the refs a little bit more. They know the characters on the court. They know what to expect. That's
right, and I appreciate not being in a hurry to pull out that yellow card on the commentary. Let's let the guys play. If they're a little bit fired up, hey, we kind of want that for the sport as long as it's not getting ugly, which is where the official just says, hey, time to calm it down here, no big deal.
Exactly.
And we're going to see another conversation there. It's Sterling Sims who's clearly fired up here out of that break.
Yeah, and you usually find that a lot of referees are ex-players, so they've been in the shoes before. They know how intense the matches can be. They've definitely probably acted the same way when they were on the court.
Daniel Hurley on serve, handled by Pilch. Send it outside to Brinkman. Brinkman roll shot. Oh, handled by Poole. Here comes Ohio State in transition. Ohio State will reset. And there's the final stuff. Excellent work by Sims, closing it off with Oaxaca. Excellent stop there after a couple of opportunities by Ohio State.
And if you see on the replay here, you can see how patient Queens' hands are. They're a little delayed as they press over on the net because they know that ball is high and out of system, but they're identifying, they're getting stopped in the right position, able to get hands over the net.
And again, very mature play. Sims, a senior, and of course Oaxaca, a junior, so both players with plenty of experience there with the smart hands to go slow, well, not slow, but to go up a little late to get that stop.
Definitely. Queens really committing to the off-speed shot here a little bit in the third set.
Tooney on serve, handled is Queens. How about the kill out of the middle? You talked about establishing the middle. Well, Sterling Sims gets the job done. First ball side out for Sims.
Yeah, after playing for Coach Jeremy Price for 4 years, I know for a fact he was harping on that in the huddle, in between sets, knowing that that was going to open up opportunities for the rest of the Royals offense as well.
Now Sims will go back and dial it up. One of the problems that I've always seen is that after you get a momentous serve, or pardon me, a momentous kill, you go back with a little bit too much adrenaline on that service line. I think Sims kind of overdid it on that serve.
Definitely. Volleyball is a huge game of composure. There's so much dead time between the plays. You have to remain focused and ready to make the next play. It's really key to move on from the next play regardless of what it was. Even if you got a very impressive kill, got to move on to that next point.
Floater from Young causing problems. Tight from Brinkman. There's the finish on the overpass. So Brinkman went just a fraction too tight. Ohio State makes no mistake.
And Ohio State, to their credit, they've been doing a really good job taking care of these out-of-system second contacts. Queens has really struggled in that area, and it hasn't helped as they've been out of system more and more.
Oaxaca handles the pass. Queens will go middle. That's going to be a touch off of the block. No, they're going to say that that ball was attacked in. There would have been a touch anyway. Credit Ohio State. Ohio State a little bit lackadaisical here at this point in the ball game. We haven't seen the same energy as we had in prior sets from them.
But again, you'll notice they're doing a great job of attacking the outside edges of the block.
In system is Queens again, and again going to the middle is Queens. Grant
what
is
a save.
done. Wonderful save, but that ball sails just wide of the antenna. Of course, Ohio State, they disagree.
Pastor almost laying out to get that ball. You could tell he tried to put a little spin on it to spin it around the antenna. It's always a tough play, but if you're able to win a point off a play like that, that is huge for momentum.
Brinkman on serve, handled by Ohio State. There's that D-ball. No problem from Daniel Hurley. We haven't seen Daniel Hurley go big since set number 1. He's taken a couple swings in set 2, but they're probably his best swing of the ball game.
And a great set there by Ohio State as the kind of momentum of the court was shifting towards the outside, obviously with Pastor on the outside as well, their top target. Reversing that ball overhead to the D-ball opened up a one-on-one opportunity.
There's Pilch. He'll go high hands and get it. So this time, Queens starting to answer back. Things were tight early in sets 1 and 2, and then Ohio State opened things up. Here, Ohio State was looking like they were going to run away, but a little bit of momentum starting to turn back on the Queens side.
Yeah, we'll see if Queens can stop Ohio State from kind of getting in that next gear that they've been doing so well in the previous 2 sets.
In position on that block, but not quite pressed over, so that ball trickles in front of Schaffer Grant. We're going to go to the media timeout. Ohio State looking to close things out in 3.
The shine to Pastor in this scenario, but he is putting together a great game as well for the Buckeyes.
And Pastor deserves all that shine, but you're right. One man cannot do it all on his own. This is absolutely a team game, and that's part of why it's the best sport known to man.
It's a great team game. It's what there is to love about volleyball.
A standing floater from Pastor. Queens takes advantage, so Pastor saving the shoulder, not airing it out. Instead, perfect pass by Queens. Queens with the finish over there on the outside. Oaxaca again with the rip down the line.
Looks like the Buckeyes are making a little bit of a change here as well.
Ben Putnam seeing some action. 6'5", redshirt freshman from Boston, Mass, getting in on the action. Of course, they're going to serve him right away. Got to test the newcomer.
Always.
No problem on the pass from Putnam. Putnam gets it done. Kick it out to the outside. Tooney with the finish.
You know, usually in that scenario, when you're serving against someone who's just been subbed in, the theory is always fresh meat in this scenario, as like a Shark Tank kind of nod.
Hudson Harris now getting in on the action. 6'8" junior on serve gets an opportunity. Taking advantage is Brinkman. Brinkman letting out all of his frustration from the balance of the day on that D-ball over on the right side. Big swing by him.
And again, a great decision by Brink to go line in that scenario, knowing a middles and back row in the 5 there.
That ball never did clear the net, so Cole Young really a little bit out of rhythm. Michael Wright has really connected with his middles nicely most of this ball game, but this time that set a little low. All Young could do was take a swing, that ball into the net.
Always tough on those tempo sets to adjust and make a different decision than you initially read based on the set. But right back at it, he hits it straight down inside the 10-foot line.
Well, and that's a smart move by a seasoned setter. If there's a mistake, you go back to that attacker if you can to get them back on track. Cole Young clearly back on track, bouncing it to 8 feet.
The repeat is always effective and always appreciated by the attacker as well.
The aforementioned Daniel Hurley now back on serve. Pass by McDonald. Cut shot no good from Brinkman. Brinkman opened up a cut shot early in set 1 along with Pilch, who got a few cuts to go, but the cuts have been very few throughout the rest of this match.
It was a smart shot in that scenario as well. The Buckeyes went out to triple block, leaving that
perfect on that shot. So the hardest shot, you now feel you got to be perfect. That really creates a lot of unforced errors,
as we just saw.
So Hurley back on serve, trying to settle himself out of the break. Service reception, Oaxaca along with Pilch and Logan McDonald out on service reception for Queens, trying to break the rhythm of Ohio State. Hurley just out of bounds, and Hurley has some things to say about where that ball is. If we could read lips, we wouldn't. We'd be taken off the air. He is not pleased with that ball being called out of bounds on that line serve.
That was definitely a close one. It was tough to see from here, but I know Queens is glad they got that point out of the break.
And Oaxaca gives it back, and of course the Ohio State players will say that the ball never lies. I've never believed in that, but in this case, they are going to take it. So trade missed serves, give the ball back to Ohio State. Tooney on serve. Poole on the free ball, handles it. Good block by Queens on the block, but then resetting. I like that touch by Sims, but the answer from Ohio State to get the 20th point, and as you said, a critical spot in the ball game to get to that 20th point.
And I like how Ohio State went to a little bit of their hot hand in that scenario. You know, he just had the service. He thought it was a service ace. He was feeling some type of way about it. They were able to get him the ball back, go for the kill out of system.
Tooney hits the ball out of bounds, getting in on the action. Continuing on the action is Jackson Maples, so Maples will come in on serve again. He's a junior from Fort Worth, Texas. He's seen action in now his 50th set. Squad has only played in 62 now, so Maples sees plenty of time as a serving specialist for the Royals.
Yeah, and because of the single entry rule in men's volleyball at the collegiate level, players like Jackson are so crucial in these later game scenarios where you can sub out a less effective server for someone like Jackson. Unfortunately, Queens wasn't able to get it done there, but that's definitely an effective play in the game.
Comes Ohio State on serve. That ball trips the net, so no dice there. Hudson Harris now playing a middle block for Ohio State, seeing a little bit of extra action on this ball game. This only now his 6th set played. He did get in briefly in set number 2. Brinkman on serve, handled by Poole. On the two-handed push, kind of an uncharacteristic ball, but Ben Putnam gets it done. He didn't feel like he could swing, puts 2 hands on it, gets it done.
Must not have liked the set, but again, the key is attacking the outside edges of the block. He was able to find something. Maybe he saw Daniel's hand reaching a little bit too far to the right, saw the opportunity and went for the easy kill.
Michael Wright on serve, handled by Pilch. There's Brinkman on the roll. Here comes Ohio State out of system. Swing by Putnam. It's handled. Brinkman is dug. Long distance ball from Wright. Gets it all the way to the outside. Putnam is looking for the tool call. He's not going to get it. That ball sails out of bounds. So Queens with just a breath of life here. A good quality run by them. Now on the serve of Pilch.
And that was a great touch by the Queens block to return a free ball for them and able to run their offense in system. Here, it's tough to put a team away in a 3rd set. Even after winning the first 2, they've had a lot of control of this match overall, but it can always be challenging in these late sets. Queens, you know, their back's up against the wall. They got to fight now. So in this scenario, Ohio State wants to put them away as fast as possible.
So the call on the floor is confirmed. So keep that ball on the side of Queens so the momentum continues for the Royals. Good pass by Poole. Going with the quick set, no problem, is Hudson Harris running that quick. Hudson Harris had to jam his way through for that kill, and the reason that they are excited for Harris, congratulations to Harris on his first kill of the season, let alone this ball game. So excellent work, Hudson Harris, getting his work done there on the swing.
Yeah, hybrid serve out of Ohio State. An unconventional shot from Queens there to get the kill.
Yep, and you take it when you can. Talk about another newcomer to the ball game, Ryan Simbor on service reception, getting into it as Grant gets the swing for the point. Great hustle play by Queens, not quite enough. A couple of really testy digs that nearly made it. Ohio State, though, now with set and match point.
Definitely. We'll see if Ohio State's able to keep the service pressure up, maybe end this on an ace. always tough to have a missed serve on set point. You know the team is going to be given some grief about that on the bus back to the hotel.
That's right. So it'll be Leitao trying to put together a run. He's going to have to put together 5 points in a row to stave off the match from Ohio State.
Good reception from Ohio State.
Quality swing from Hurley. They'll try again. This time blocked is Queens. So love that effort from Queens not to give up. That's Brink along with Sterling Sims getting in on the close. So staving off one match point is the serve of Leitao.
Yeah, we'll see if Daniel can keep the pressure on Ohio State. They did a good job in reception there.
This time in system, it's the cross ball and the finish from Cole Young. So Ohio State gets the job done. Ohio State ups their record to 12-3, and they stay on top of the MIVA, now up to 6-1. As for Queens, they'll fall to 6-10, 2-5 in MIVA action. Sure hope you'll join us again. These teams will match up again tomorrow.